What is up everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Polkadot, which is currently down 5%. The entire market is seeing a huge crash. Bitcoin is down 3.5%. We have Ethereum down nearly 10%. But this isn't just a crypto crash that we're seeing. We're seeing the same exact crash happen on the US economy, with the S&P being down 3.3%. And you have to remember the S&P is much larger than Bitcoin. The S&P has a market cap of roughly $50 trillion, and Bitcoin I think has a market cap of like 1 or 2 trillion, so it's at least 25 times smaller than the S&P, and for it to be down the same amount is actually quite okay. However, obviously the market is in a very bad state, and we've already talked about this in a lot of the previous videos, how if Donald Trump doesn't resolve the war in Ukraine and Russia, and if he doesn't start easing off the tariffs, or at least negotiate well enough on the tariffs, we're going to continue to see this crash. However, there is a lot of theories going on that he's causing this crash in order for the Fed to cut rates so that the US can essentially borrow more money at a lower interest, with bonds going up and everything like that. And then once that happens, when Fed starts cutting rates, you're going to see the market reverse, because the market loves lower interest rates, as it allows more people to take out loans and just more money to flood not only into the economy but also back into the markets. So yeah, we are experiencing a lot of short-term pain, especially on altcoins like Polkadot. And if it was falling the same amount as Bitcoin, it wouldn't be that much of an issue. We're down 35% down on Bitcoin from the all-time high. However, on Polkadot it's more like 60-70%, and that's all due to Bitcoin dominance obviously spiking up today 4.5%. It's huge. We need Bitcoin dominance to be falling a lot more, and it's not doing so. So we're going to be jumping into practically all of that today. But before we do so, I want to ask you guys to check out the Discord down below. You can see on the screen right now just how many trades our members are winning from copying our trades. Inside, you can not only copy our trades, but you can also copy my long-term strategies, my long-term portfolio, and everything like that, so you can learn to trade for yourself. It's great for beginners and advanced traders. Yeah, join up so you can start mastering the markets. Now back to Polkadot. So we're ultimately talking about accumulations on Polkadot anywhere under $5. Now that we're under $4, which is insane to say, I think accumulations are still very good. You can sort of multiply your accumulation by maybe 20, 30, 50%, somewhere around there. So if you're accumulating for $10,000 at under $5, you can go to up to 15,000 now that we're under 4. How low can we go? Well, the lowest we've been at is $3.58, so we're already quite close there. It's another 10% dip away, and we are already scarily low on Polkadot. Like, I don't see it going, or how it can go much lower, because we're already so low. And the worst thing is that when we are actually at these lows, Bitcoin was way lower as well. Bitcoin was at like 50,000, and previously at like 20 or 30,000 when Polkadot was at these lows. So now that Bitcoin's at 77 and it could go lower, it's very scary for these alts, because they can also go lower, and they're already very low. Like Solana is also down drastically. We're looking for accumulations at $100, and so many other altcoins. However, the one good thing about Polkadot is that if you look on the right here, you'll see it's actually one of the coins that is down the least. So it's down 4.5%. We have ETH down 9%, Solana 8%, AVAX 10% nearly, Sui 9%, Render 12%. Absolutely shocking stuff on Render right now. So yeah, it's really shocking to see. But again, it's across the entire market. It's not like it's just crypto. The entire market is suffering. With the S&P now, we're probably going to fall to this area right here, so roughly at 5.4 to 5.45k. That's going to be another 3% drop. So this week we're probably going to hit it. Yeah, really bad stuff just on the market. Hopefully the rate cuts do come very soon. Hopefully everything starts to get resolved soon, because we have a lot of news building up as well. So when we get news that comes out during these bad market times, yes, we pump up maybe 10% max, like we saw with the crypto reserve. But right after that, we should just see a dump, simply because the market is not in a good enough state where the momentum of buys can continue. So with the build-up of news that is going to come out, like the actual finalization of the crypto reserve, with new ETFs coming out for altcoins like Solana, Litecoin, XRP, HBAR, if those come out now or very soon, when the market is still in a bad state, we're not going to see the full potential of it. So we need to really have this news come out later, and come out when the market is in a much better state, which is what we're waiting for. Ultimately, all the analysis right now is practically through the window. We're going to continue to fall until the news gets resolved, and these essential levels like 74,000 and 68,000 for Bitcoin, and for Polkadot like $3.54, these are just average areas where we should be looking to enter in at, because this is where the drop could slow down, and basically the best chance we have at entering at the lowest point before we see the major reversal. So yeah, that's what we're sort of looking at. We don't have a definite date date for when we're, you know, going to reverse back up or anything like that. It's all going to be based on the news and what Trump is essentially going to say. Hopefully there is going to be a few meetings relatively soon regarding the war. The tariffs are relatively easy to deal with and negotiate with. So yeah, that's what we're going to be waiting for essentially. You know, Bitcoin dominance as well, just pumping up right now. If we take a look at the percent chart, it's not pumping up as much as the dollar value chart, which is good because if it was, then you'd see alts down a lot more. But yeah, it's not horrific just yet. The weekly is creating a higher high right now. As long as we don't break above, we should be okay. These wicks again will, you know, cool down into the evening and just overall into the week. I do think 64% here was the top. I don't think we're going to see any higher, simply because I don't know how we'd see it any higher than 64%. This is already extremely high, and even 61% is still extremely high. So as soon as you start to see this drop off, where we're going to enter alt season, but that is still a very, very long time away. It's like, you know, I've said in previous videos, until we drop to 55%, alt season won't start. It took us previously nearly 4 weeks, and each candle is a week. So since like the top, it took us 3 weeks. Since, you know, the initial red candle, it took us 4 weeks to actually drop down to this level. Right now we're higher. It's probably going to take 5, 6, maybe even 7 weeks to drop down to this level. So yeah, alt season not close at all. Meme coins specifically, you know, these smaller meme coins aren't down tremendously. Dogecoin is down nearly 9%, simply because it was the strongest coin holding on. But again, it's at this level right now, good for DCAs, similar to Polkadot. Basically, it was holding on quite well to this resistance until it wasn't, and it just started plummeting. So yeah, not much news to really uncover, but that's what we have for Polkadot. Other coins I'm going to be keeping an eye out for this week. Again, Doge, you know, at this great support level right now. How low can it go? You know, realistically, maybe 12, 13 cents right there. Could it go to 8 cents? It's another 50% dip. We're going to have to wait and see. HBAR, another coin, actually performing really well, still relatively at a good price, dipping down to 18 cents here where we had our DCA level. Again, we're, you know, relatively break even on HBAR right now from our initial entries. Polkadot plummeting again. We haven't entered yet, but you know, we're just waiting for a good opportunity. We were looking at these levels right here, didn't find any, or we found better opportunities on other coins. Yeah, still plummeting. Fetch right now in the gutter, it's at 47 cents, which is insane. We do have a slight support level here, so hopefully it does start to see a reversal. You know, really tough to see Fetch being down this low, especially considering it was at $3.40 practically a year ago. So yeah, really unfortunate to see. XRP also at this support level right here, still above $2, which is good to see. But you know, if the market continues, we're probably going to see $1.82, maybe $1.75. Sui also dumping off. We're probably going to see under $2 very soon, $1.80 to be precise. Render again continuing the dump. What would we see on render? Maybe 216, so another 30% dip. Oof, that would be tragic. Yeah, a lot of coins still have a long way to go. AVAX, another one. You know, this could probably see another 50% dip. Not looking too good for AVAX. Solana probably down another 10%, maybe to 105, somewhere around here. ETH, it's actually right at a support level right now here at 180. Yeah, hopefully it holds this. If not, 1.5, here we come. And Bitcoin, we've already mentioned this, but yeah, 74.69, somewhere around here. It'll only start to slow down. Now, if you did enjoy the video or you did find it helpful, please do make sure to like and subscribe. The market is crashing, so you know, do a helping hand and sub. And if you need lower fees because the market is absolutely crushing us, then check out all the exchanges we're working with down below. When you're actually buying and selling or trading crypto on futures, you need lower fees because otherwise you're going to get absolutely crushed. So yeah, check out all the exchanges we're working with. When you use my links to sign up, you'll get those lower fees and some nice sign up bonuses. And if you want to be copying my trades or learn my strategies so that you can trade for yourself, then check out the Discord down below. I'll leave a link to it. It'll be the first link there. Make sure you join up. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.